best of the best.
Board Game Closet's Hall of Fame games. I mean, how awesome is that?
So welcome back to the Board Game Closet. My name's Jimmy.
I'm Rod.
And today we are doing something special.
Yep.
We are doing a Hall of Fame video. But before we get to that, you got to subscribe to our channel. You got to click the button, subscribe, and every single Thursday we'll give you a brand new video that talks about how amazing board games are.
Exactly.
But this week we're doing a Hall of Fame video.
Right.
First time we've ever done this.
Yep. We plan to do a yearly thing.
Every year.
Add a few games to it. Most of the games that I like.
Can I add anything?
Oh, of course. Yeah,
Okay.
You can add.
But to get things started, we thought every year we're going to add some games to it, and we will have to decide from this point on, right? Next
Right.
year, starting 2018, we will have to sit down, duke it out, fight it out, and decide which games we think should be added to the Hall of Fame.
Right.
But to get things started, we didn't do that.
Nope, not at all.
He wrote a list, I wrote a list, and we're adding these games to the Hall of Fame. And we think that these games you should have in your collection.
Must have.
And they deserve to be Hall of Fame worthy. These are games that even 20 years from now, we were saying, would be great games. And
If you started a board game collection, you would have to have these games right now. And this should be this should be the core part of your games.
you get,
right here.
Yeah, you got to start with the Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start out with just talking about the games that we want to put in there, but we each got to decide a game that we knew the other person would not agree on.
Exactly.
Do the honors.
All right. So mine is
I don't agree with this.
BattleTech. So BattleTech to me is the game of games. It's years old, right? We're talking 30 years old plus.
Oh, yeah.
It's been around forever. You've got all types of fiction for it, books. You've got all types of playing aids for it. It's a miniatures game, so you have 1 million miniatures to purchase. There's everything for it. Video games, whole thing. I just love the world and the way the game plays. For me, it's the perfect game.
The perfect
The
game.
perfect game for the wargamer.
So, high honors, and the first inductee is BattleTech.
BattleTech. Yes.
Let it be known I don't agree. Okay. Well, my first inductee that he obviously is not going to agree with is you got to put this game in there, whether you love it or hate it, whether you started with this and moved on. This is a game that everybody needs to at least play once, including Tim. Is Settlers of Catan. Catan, however you say it.
Exactly.
It's this is the classic game that got everything started for me, and you have to give it its props for the place that it holds in modern board gaming. If there's a game that you could say that people would feel trendy knowing that might not even be trendy anymore, it's
Right.
not. It's Settlers, and this is a game that got a lot of people into it. You've heard about it on TV shows, all kinds of things. This is a game that needs to be in the Hall of Fame, and it deserves its place.
And then I actually would agree with that just because of the background of the game and how much it's brought to gaming and everything. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I have, I've played it a few times and it's all right.
It's all right. They have a Star Trek version.
Hey, but that was a fun one.
Okay, so moving right along. Tell us
Okay.
your first inductee then.
Okay,
Official.
mine will be Marvel Legendary card game. To me, that is just a very entertaining game. They've done a good job on the artwork, on all of the cards. They've done a great job of bringing out expansions for it, which sometimes some games get overly, because they have too many expansions, but the Marvel universe is so big, they can just keep going out of control. I just love it. So, yeah.
And so as far as deck builders go, this one kind of changed a lot with the board and the way that it was co-op and all of those kinds of things was really interesting.
Right, and to me it was, so I did not like Dominion, and that was the one at the time we were kind of looking at, and Legendary just did it right. The license is right, and the way the game plays is really good. And quite honestly, the other Legendary games, the Aliens and the Predators, they've even stepped it up the extra notch on it. They're just not using the Marvel license on it.
Right. Okay, so my inductee for the Hall of Fame with the Board Game Closet is Stone Age. This is a worker placement game that is still good today. A lot of people have played this game and moved on, and if I'm totally honest with you, it's been overplayed in my house. Like my family members absolutely love this game, and maybe I want a lot more than this, but I have to give it props for what it is. This is a very approachable worker placement game that involves dice where you get to roll for resources. So not only do you get to place your guy there, but now you have to roll these dice to see if you get anything. It just adds this whole level of excitement to it. And then the end game scoring on Stone Age is one of the best that I've seen. It's just exciting. There's always surprises when people start revealing cards and get points for the end of this game. It's a great game. And if you can find a copy of it, because it keeps going out of print, Z-Man. But if you can find a copy of this game, then you need to add it to your collection. Stone Age needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
All right. So my next game is a great group game. As many people as possible. Seven Wonders, which I think is just a fantastic game. Plays fast. After your first couple playthroughs, for most people, then you fully understand it. It seems like it's a complicated game, but in reality, it's not. Just learning what we call it, the iconography.
Yeah.
Exactly. But as soon as you learn that, then you're good to go. And I just love the way. I mean, I like the thought of you have a chance with the same deck as the guy next to you to win the game. You just have to pick the right cards at the right time, and that everyone gets the same chance with the same deck, and you just pass it around. I do like that little game mechanic.
Well, what's neat about this is it gets the nod for a card drafting mechanic. And so everybody always says, oh yeah, you draft cards like Seven Wonders. And so anytime a game is brought up that much and is held that highly, it should be in the Hall of Fame.
Definitely. Good call, Rod.
Okay, my next one is Codenames. Now, this is a game that came out pretty recently, and a lot of people are tired of hearing about it. But to me, this is a game that, if you could even say this, and maybe this is a oxymoron, but it is an instant classic. It is a game that as soon as it came out, and as soon as people played it, people loved it. Now, there's a lot of guys that absolutely hate this game. They can't stand the whole premise of sitting and waiting on somebody to give you a clue for 45 minutes. But in my family, the people that I've played this with, it has been a hit every single time, and it is one that sits on the shelf proudly and deserves to be in the Hall of Fame because it is a different style of party game that is very approachable to a lot of people.
Yeah, and one thing about that game for me is that it breaks the normal party game mode of Pictionary, but takes it to another level that I like, and I enjoy that game a lot. So that's a good choice.
Yeah, well, good, thank you. All right, Codenames.
All right, okay. So the next one, it was hard to figure out which one I wanted to choose because there's three games that are similar to each other in this one. But I am going to go with Imperial Assault. To me, the Star Wars obviously just takes it to the number one spot. So. Definitely Hall of Fame game. It's a blast. I can't wait till the application comes out because that's really going to make it just solid. But right now, it's a very good game. I think everyone should own it. There's a large amount of expansions for it, and the miniatures are fantastic too. So I mean, it's just a nice game.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tag on that. And I'm going to tell you what my next nod is because it comes in the same universe, Star Wars, and that's Star Wars Rebellion needs to be in the Hall of Fame. This is a game that maybe not everybody at the table agrees with me on, but this is the best two-player game that has the most tension. To me, it is Star Wars in a box. It is everything that I wanted a lot of these games to be because maybe I'm not that good at a dungeon crawler, and maybe I'm not that good at all of that other stuff, but I can strategically plan and play the best game of hide and seek that lasts for 4 hours that I've ever played in my life, and it's Star Wars, and all of the characters are there. Some of the stories play out exactly like they did in the movies. And it is a great two-player game. You sit across the table from your opponent and you are hiding or you are seeking and the tension is there. I just can't say enough good about this game. This is an awesome, awesome game.
It's a good game.
It's a good game.
I'm surprised there's not more expansions for it.
They do have one on the way.
Oh,
so,
do they?
Yep, it is on the way.
Okay. All right. So since we're kind of on the Star Wars part here, I'm going to go ahead and bring a third one in here. X-Wing miniatures game. There is, right now, pretty much any ship is available to you, especially for that movie 4, 5, and 6. You know, all that the whole generation of movies. It's just, and there's so many nice models. Each one of them's fantastic. The only negative I think with it is this: it can be extremely expensive. Because some of those larger models are very expensive. Exactly. I mean, when you're paying $60, $70 for, you know, one model that's being used, that gets pretty expensive, but they're beautiful. So, I mean, I go both ways on that. I think they're overpriced, but they are very nice pieces. I mean, they're ones that sit on the shelf proudly, right? And then when you're playing the game, there's nothing better looking than you see this table with the mat out of space, and you have all those ships all lined up playing each other. It's pretty cool. Very enjoyable.
Very. Yeah. So if you like that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know. Okay, my next one that is a Hall of Fame game, and it's going way back, is Survive Escape from Atlantis. Now, I have the 30th anniversary version of this game, and I've talked about it before, but I'll talk about it again. This is a game that it looks so good on the table. It plays so smoothly. There's only a few steps on this game, but you are literally on the island of Atlantis trying to get your little meeples off as the island sinks into the water, and you get them on these little wooden boats and go across the ocean, and your opponents destroy your boat and knock them into the water. They send sharks or whales or monsters over to devour them. It is my favorite game that has take that elements where I'm doing something to get you, and it doesn't bother me at all. The whole family can sit around and play it, and I've done this Christmas after Christmas where we have played round after round of this game. It is just fun, and I highly recommend it. You can get the expansion, plays up to 6, I think. And so all these people going at it around the board, meeples are dying, meeples are getting eaten, boats are being destroyed. It's just a great game, and it looks amazing on the table. So Survive Escape from Atlantis needs to be in the Board Game Closet Hall of Fame.
And it is.
Oh, it is.
All right, so we're down to my final choice. My final choice is Spartacus. We talk about this game a lot. There's a reason why, because we play it a lot. It's very enjoyable. It's an adult game, so you got to remember that. So we personally take out the one card that's in there that's really bad. But exactly. But all in all, it is a very enjoyable game, and it's amazing to me that a game that you think about fighting isn't really the main part of that game, because the fighting part's very minimal. You know, because we've actually played other games that have much more that do much more with that. But it is a very enjoyable game. It's fun getting 6 people together and playing that out. That is a lot of fun.
Yeah, there you go. Some of our best stories from game days come from that game.
Exactly. You learn a lot about people when you play Spartacus.
Nicknames and things like that, you know. But it's just a game, people. You know, you can't take any of this stuff seriously. Okay, my last one is another classic, and I just want to say before I get to my last one that we have lots of years ahead of us to add a lot of games into this list. And so there are a number of games that I would love to add to this list, but I'm just going to be honest, I haven't played them enough to really stand behind the idea of saying this one needs to go in there. So most of the games that I put in here today are games that I can say I've played the mess out of them and had to replace cards, and that's what this last one is. I've even had to replace the cards in this game, and it's Ticket to Ride. And there's tons of versions to this game. I personally love the Europe version. There's another version, the Markland version. There's all kinds, a million versions of this game. But the simplicity of this game, how easy it is for people to get onto it, approach it, start playing the game. You collect your train color cards. You play them out. You go from here to there. It's just really, really simple, easy game to teach, and gets a lot of people in. I think that this is one of my favorite gateway games because it gets people from Life and Monopoly and says, oh, I go from here to there, I collect the cards. It's so easy. And when it clicks in people's heads, I don't know, it's a great, great game. And so whether or not you've moved past it or not, this game deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Definitely. I would agree with that. I mean, I think our group would probably not play this game.
Yeah.
We played as a family and stuff with the families, but our group would never play this. I mean, we may have started off with it, but we would never go back to it. But you're exactly right. It's a great intro game. You can buy it at Target. You can buy it anywhere. So it's available anywhere. So it's a very good buy, very good choice.
There you go. Okay, so tell us what we got wrong. Tell us what should be considered for the 2018 inductee into the Hall of Fame.
And like always, support your local hop shop.
That's it. Do it.
Bye-bye.